Hi guys, welcome to the Dream Giveaway Garage. Today's episode, some of the coolest features that I have found in the world's only HellScat, the grand prize in the 2017 Challenger Dream Giveaway. You know, the HellScat that I'm sitting in right now is based upon a production Challenger Hellcat. So it retains the same instrument panel, which I'll show you in a minute, as the Hellcat. So back in the old days, I'm going to ask the camera to come on in here and show that Go Juice pedal down there. Back in the old days, to control your power, that's all you really needed. A little bit of pedal action happening down there. Well, today, all that is different on the Hellcat. And we're going to fire it up, we're going to let you hear it, and we're going to show you how the instrument panel has some sophisticated controls to allow you to control the power of this HellScat. I know you're going to dig it, so come on along with me. First, we're going to fire it up. Again, no key these days. It's an engine start button. All right. Going to let that idle sink in a little bit here. And then I'm going to go right here to where it says apps. I'm going to click on that. Oh, okay guys, maybe I got to push down here where it says SRT first. So here we go here. It shows us that the HellScat has 700 plus horsepower. We know it has over 1,000, but this is still programmed for the original Hellcat. Transmission is set to street, the paddle shifters are on. Traction and suspension are both to street. Now let me get back here and see if it'll allow me to get into the apps. And I want to get into what we call here the performance pages. This is really cool, gang. So there we go, that's going to load up. So one of my favorite features on this Hellcat are the retro-styled, digitally rendered gauges. As this loads, look, got a photo of our vehicle right there. And let's go in and look at the gauges. You know, in the old days, you were lucky if you got a tach. These days, let's click on gauges 1. We can see oil temp, oil pressure, coolant temp, battery voltage, and trans temp. And look at these, they're rendered to really look retro. I'm going to ask the camera to come on over here back to the IP panel. And you can see there, very retro. So the digital gauges are made to look just like your analog gauges here on the instrument panel. So let's come on back over here to the display, the driver information display, and you'll see that those are some of the gauges. Now you can move these around in different orders. I'm not doing it right there, but go to gauges 2. We've also got boost pressure, air-fuel ratio, intercooler coolant temperature, and intake air temperature. Well, that's really cool. Now, you know, we're in the studio today, so I really can't show you what this thing will do going around in a circle at 100 miles an hour. But if I was, you can look here and you can check your peak G-forces as well as your current G-forces as well as your steering angle in mile per hour. So this is called a G-meter. That's the common name for it. Now when we come on here and look at engine parameters, we'll see that we're running about 17 inches of HG. Now you guys are going to help me out and remind me what that stands for. Pretty sure that stands for, that's boost. We've got no torque, but if we were moving right now, we'd see how many foot-pounds of torque that we had and how large our horsepower was. Now what's interesting is even though this HellScat has 1,000 plus horsepower, the Dodge system will only show you up to 750. They didn't take into account that the HellScat would have over 1,000 horsepower. So I'm sure if you guys are the winner, you're going to have a whole lot of fun maxing out that gauge right there. Now one of the other things that you can do here is to change the settings. So let me go back here to SRT. Let's go into race options and let's look at the launch control. This is really cool, guys. So I can tell the computer here that I want to launch this car at 1,500 RPM, or I can go up here, I can tell it to launch all the way up to 3,500 RPM. If you've been around drag racing for a while, you remember in the old days, you used to put your foot on the brake, you'd load up the converter to whatever whatever stall speed you want, and then you let her rip. So now the computer does it instantly for you, anywhere from 1500 to 3500 launch speed. One of my favorite features on the car. The shift light, I don't mention this in my story, but very cool as well. You can set the shift light for wherever you need it to be, so it'll tell you when to shift. You can set up the RPM for each of the gears. Where do you want to shift at? Right now it's set at default for 6,000 RPM. Very, very cool. So there's one other thing that I want to show you guys on here, and these are the drive modes that are available to you in this vehicle. So I believe that there's 5 of them available. Let me get back here and let's see if we can find it on the screen. Go back out of race options. Let's see if we click here. Oh, up here. So if I change that, did you guys see me do that? It was over here on default, and I changed it to track setting, and it changes the settings in the transmission, on the traction, and in the suspension for going straight line in a quarter mile. Sport, of course, if you're going in a race that's not in a straight line. Custom, very, very cool here, guys. You can set your own features here for what you need for custom settings. And then, of course, default is street. There's also one here, there's 2 here that are interesting. If you're just into save and get money at the pump, you can put it into eco. That limits the power. Oh, look, it's green. Isn't that eco-friendly? This will limit the power in the car to 500 horsepower. It'll give you street traction and street suspension. And then valet. If you're letting someone else do this, you will limit the performance of the vehicle all the way down to, I think it's about 400 horsepower. So the valets can't go racing your car. You guys know what I'm talking about. So there you go. There's some of the cool features. Let me turn the engine off. There was some of the cool features of the new HellScat that were given away in the 2017 Challenger Dream giveaway. Again, no longer just the accelerator pedal to control your performance. You now have a whole interactive display there right next to your gauges here, your analog gauges on the dash, on the instrument panel, and digital gauges to measure almost anything you can imagine on engine performance and engine vitals. That's going to wrap up this episode. We will see you tomorrow live in the Dream Giveaway Garage.